Hi friends, in our last session, we have started with our chapter that is evaluation of a workforce. In that we have seen that what is the relation of a worker in a CPS based factory, that is whether a requalification of a worker is required or not. Along with that we have even seen the light out factories, that what is light out factory. In today's session we are going to see open factory, that is a new concept. In that CPS enabled factory will also utilize a worker, that is a human intervention will also take place. Okay guys, so this is Fazan Kakti and I welcome you all to a lecture series of Industrial Internet of Things. So let's begin with our first topic, that is open factory, that is called a new factory. Now CPS will be the key in enabling totally new configurations of producers, suppliers and customers. This new settings has been labeled as open manufacturing and should be considered the organization twin of cyber physical system. Now over here you can see a chart is shown which is a representation of an open manufacturing. On the top side you can see an entire section is shown which that is called a manufacturing section, which includes do it yourself portion, then company section, that is basically a production system, fab labs. Now fab labs are the developing or application development laboratories in which a tinkerers are going to operate, or we would say a freelancer developers are going to work in these fab labs for developing or for modifying the applications or design of a product. Then comes a community section and a workshops. Okay, in these workshops the developers or the actual developers of a company itself are going to work. Okay, now this section is representing a developer section in which there is a workshop in which a developers are going to work, that is they are going to design the product. Okay, improve the design of a product, right? These are the tinkerers. So tinkerers are basically again a developers, but these are not the developers within a factory. These are the outside or a freelancer workers or a developers which are going to work in these fab labs. Okay, again they are going to work for development of the or refinement of the product. Okay, they are going to update the design. Okay, now over here you can see there is a section which is representing a prosumers. Now these prosumers are basically consumer. So these are the users are outside the factory, and do it yourself are again a users which are the part of a factory itself. Okay, these are the workers of factory which are going to utilize the product to test whether it's working properly or not, and after using that product we would say they are going to share their experience with this developer team. Okay, so over here you can see it is shown by the arrow, a user experience. Similarly, this user portion, these are outside of factory, which means other customers are also going to utilize the product. Okay, and they are going to share their feedback and improvements whatever they required according to customer requirement. The developer are going to update the design of the product. Now whatever update which is done by this developer over here you can see will be stored in this section, that is called a design code or a open patent. Okay, so that is a database where a product design has been stored by this developer. Okay, whatever update is done also that is stored in this. Similarly, whatever work is done by tinkerers, again remember that tinkerers are also a developer, but these are the freelancers developers which are not working permanently for the factory. Okay, these are the one which are paid for doing certain tasks. Okay, and they are going to operate in these fab labs. Again these are going to update the design, whatever modifications they are going to do will again be stored in this database of the product. Okay, so this is a product design database, and after refining which will be stored over here. Now this database or a product design will later be utilized by a production system, that is a company. The company is going to start manufacturing as per the design. Okay, and after producing that product it is shown over here that a product has been produced by a company which will be purchased and used by these prosumers which are users and do it yourself. So these again a cycle. Okay, again these users and do it yourself section are going to provide a feedback to these developers. So again you can see over here user experience, this is going to be provided to a developer. These tinkerers and a developer are going to modify as per the feedback given by both of them. Okay, that is a user and do it yourself section. So this is how an open factory layout is going to operate. Now in the next slide you will get a more clear idea. Okay, so whatever process I have explained is written over here. So you can clearly see that in this new mode of production, different producers work on a product that are open in a sense that that patent is public. For example, Tesla. So what does this mean? So we can take a simple example that let's say a mobile manufacturing company is installing or is using a new technique. Let's say that the triple camera technique has been utilized by Samsung. Now this technique, which has been introduced by Samsung or developed by Samsung, can be utilized by any other company. Let's say Redmi company is also utilizing and providing a triple camera concept, right? Which means this type of development is not patented. Any company can utilize this, which means it is public. Similarly, Tesla, which we know that the biggest electric car manufacturing company, has developed a concept of electric cars, right? So this can be developed by any other company. Okay, so this is an example which is shown. So when we are going to use we are going to produce certain products which are not patented, that is anyone can develop. So in that, certain standards have to be developed. Okay, and there is a concept that's called API, which is an application programming interface. Now the question comes at what is API. So basically API is going to provide an interface to the software application to interact with the websites, to interact with the internet. Even it is going to provide even it's going to provide an interface for a software or an application to communicate with some other application. Let us take understand by taking a simple example that we have a Paytm application installed in our phone. Okay, now when the internet is off, what is going to happen? When we open the Paytm app, it is going to say that internet error, no network, right? Which means Paytm application is already installed, but it is not able to connect with the internet, with its server. It is not going to connect with a server. Why? Because internet is off. So whenever we start the internet, the application programming interface is going to connect the application with the website or the server of the Paytm application, and whatever data which is available on a database of that Paytm will be seen on your mobile screen, right? But how it is happening? So there is a application programming interface which is letting you connect your software to the server. Okay, so that is called API interface. Now that are available, and developers are invited to participate in a development of an application. So as I told, tinkerers, that are freelancers developer who are going to operate in this Fab Labs, which is over here, it is written. Now what is the benefit of allowing the freelancers or a tinkerers? So we can say that they are going to elaborate their ideas, they are going to provide their ideas will be evaluated, and this is going to help in improving the design of a product, right? We can refine the product design, okay, by taking a help of these freelancers, and even company itself as a developer, and they can develop by taking a feedback from a customer. Okay, now in a second paragraph you can see it is written that what is the main difference between a light out factory and an open factory. So we can say that it is obvious working as a production worker in this kind of environment could be quite difficult task than in a light out factory, where in a light out factory what is happening? Totally there is automation. Robots are working in that factory. No human interaction is taking place. No involvement is there, right? Whereas in this open factory, humans are also involved. Developers are involved. Okay, along with that, there are automated robots which are performing their task. Okay, that is of developing the product. Okay, now further you can see that production workers in this setting thus will embrace more design thinking instead of production thinking. So what we are going to focus in this open factory, there is workers will be more focused on thinking, design thinking, that what modifications we can do in our product. Okay, rather than controlling and monitoring task which was done in which type of factory, that is light out factory. So this is the main difference between the open factory and a light out factory. Now let's move further and let's see that what are the skills and tools which are required for implementing the open factory. So this is a map which is shown over here. Open and distributed manufacturing. Now worker will require to learn a new machineries. Okay, that is for example rapid prototyping, multi machines functions. What are the different functions which are available in the machines? That skill worker has to learn. As well as worker has must have a skill or a knowledge of Internet of Things, IoT. Now what comes under that? So we would say trackable objects, different types of trackable objects, right? Sensors, different types of sensors. A knowledge of this device must be there with a worker. These skills are required in this factory. Then after product, so product, different products, that is Arduino, Bug Labs. Now Arduino, we know Arduino is a device, electronic device, which is basically connecting a input with the output. Okay, it is a connecting device which is going to convey the signals. Okay, remember that. And later on the bottom side you can see integrated on demand infrastructure. So shape based design for download. So all these knowledge and skills are required. Social movement. Now social movements includes the hardware hackers, maker movements. Okay, then different methods which includes open development, modularization. So these are all the skills and tools which the worker have to learn. Okay, so over here you can see it is written the worker in this setting will need a knowledge about the elements of a CPS enabled production that needs to be reconfigured. The knowledge about those elements will enable him to constitute the factory according to the specific requirements of the product and marketing strategy. The factory worker evolve into an enabler or an architect of an open factory. Okay, now let us see our next slide. So now this shows that what are the three possible models for a human in a cyber physical system production line, which means that what are the roles of a human in a CPS production line? What are the possible roles? So human can work as a process worker, you can see over here. Second role, human can work as a role model, and third, human can work as an architect. Okay, remember these are the three roles which a human can perform in a cyber physical production system. Okay, now the process worker, so what is that? What are the roles in that? So we would say the worker is mainly concerned with monitoring the more or less fully automated production system, which means in this case process worker, the human role is just monitoring. Okay, remember. So this rather is a limited role and is the end point of a development that wishes to eliminate human from a production, which means that just monitoring is a role. So there is no such development of a process worker in this. Okay, so ultimately what it's going to lead, so ultimately this type of humans which are a process worker will be eliminated from the production system, will be removed from a production system. Why? Because they just have to do a monitoring task. Okay, now the second role, that is called a role model. Okay, now this role brings back human as a template for a mechanical skill that needs to be reconsidered in a machine. Okay, so this is the most important skill. Whenever a human or a person has a mechanical skills, so that skills are definitely going to be utilized to operate the machines, right? Whenever a machine failure takes place, these mechanical engineers or or whoever has a knowledge of these machines can easily perform this role. Okay, the humans here becomes an extraordinary skilled and versatile workers who works in enclave workshops to retain and refine the skills that are not used in a production process directly by these robots. Very clear. Okay, so these skills, that is a mechanical skills, are going to be very helpful to the workers to operate a machine in most of the cases whenever a failure takes place. Okay, and even there are certain tasks which only a mechanical engineer or a worker can perform, which cannot be performed by a worker. So so when such type of humans or a worker have these skills, then obviously they are going to become an extraordinary person, versatile person. Okay, so that would be a role of a role model section. Okay, so over here you can clearly see that it will be transferred to the machine in order to gain the upper hand in configuration of a production process and to maintain competitive advantage. And the last role of a human that could be is a architect role. Okay, so in the architect, here the factory workers becomes the enablers and configurers of a CPS production. Configurers, which means this type of architect workers can give a command to the CPS to change the product, or by using a different material to produce a different type of a product. So that command can be given only by the architect or who are the controller of the machines. Okay, so these are connecting different developers, production lines and customers. Clearly we can say that these roles requires very different set of skills. Perhaps it is useful to imagine this reorientation as being enabled by what? Requalifying learning path of the workers, that is present workers. Okay guys, so in today's session we are keeping up till here, and what we have discussed in these two sessions, that is, first we have started with what is a worker orientation, that is what requalification of worker is required in a CPS system. Okay, what is the concept developed by French scientist, that is Andrew Gods, right? Then what is the concept of a light out factory, what is the concept of an open factory, right? And what are the three possible models which a human has to perform in a CPS production line. So this you all have to remember. Okay guys, so in next session we will start with our new topic of this chapter, that is strategies required for a human or a user intervention in cyber physical system. So till then, stay tuned and thank you all.